Hi everybody, my name is Carla and welcome back to the Written Word Calligraphy channel. Today we are doing a meditation video on Isaiah 40 verse 31. This is part of my Isaiah Calligraphy Digital Worksheets and it's the 14th page. So if you are thinking of following along with me, these are available on my website and you can download these and trace over them. And we have them traceable like this, where I've already written the words. This is one of my favorite ways to do meditation, where I have some music playing. I've got the words already written, so I'm tracing over them rather than kind of creating them from scratch. And then as you write in your calligraphy, I'd want you to really come into it with a posture of like slowness, like being intentionally slow as you write, and also breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. So when you're writing in calligraphy, typically it is already slower, about 10 to 15 times slower. So this one, I would want you to write even slower, about 15 to 20 times more, where you want to like be reflective of the words that you are writing and also just like relaxing, you know, like going up, you breathe in, and then as you come down, in your strokes, you breathe out. So you might not hear that as I play some music, but I want you to take that into consideration as you write. I'll be writing with the Nico G, as well as our oblique pen right here, and I've also got like my inkwell with Sumi ink inside this bottle right here. So again, this one is Isaiah 40 verse 31. Love about Isaiah is the story of redemption, how it really tells all about the story of hope, you know, in the midst of all that suffering. When I was putting together these worksheets, I was, you know, it's just incredible how there's so much like sadness in it juxtaposed with so much hope, like the promises in it. And so it was really an incredible experience reading through it all. The beauty about tracing is that you can write with just following the strokes, adding pressure gently, slowly, being very intentional with the shapes. You can imagine yourself like what is water and like tracing over water. And of course, every now and then, make sure you're like conscious of how your shoulders are, relaxing yourself. Those upstrokes might be a little bit stressful for some of you, so take a deep breath as you go through them and imagine that you're just hovering over the surface of the water, tracing the very little bit of it. And as you're tracing, you don't need to be putting a ton of pressure even for the downstrokes. Just lightly touch and your nib will naturally open. And as you get comfortable with the tracing, you can focus on the words, because it takes a while to get through a single word. If you prefer to write in silence, you can also do that, just listening to sound of nib on paper, or if you're wondering what paper I'm using right now, I'm actually using Bristol paper this time. I've cut out these sheets from my Bristol paper instead of just printing it on regular copy paper, because when I'm relaxing I want it to be really smooth, and Bristol paper is the smoothest paper. I use these for scanning my artwork. So this is why I'm writing so smoothly as well. It's definitely different from like a practice kind of paper, which I would recommend, like the HP 32-pound paper. You can do it stroke by stroke. You don't need to finish the letter in one go. This particular calligraphy style I chose for this verse really reflects like a lot of flow. So it may seem like the letter itself doesn't have a pause, but you can create a pause. You can stop when you feel like you need to. Food. It's okay. At least it was in a spot where I wasn't talking. Take a deep breath, roll your shoulders back. Take a break as you're writing, essentially. You don't have to rush through this entire experience. It's supposed to be slow. Isn't this such a beautiful verse? Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will walk and not be faint. You're probably wondering, why am I dipping my ink in a really odd way? This is how I've gotten used to dipping my ink, and I've actually found it to be really good because I'm essentially painting on my nib the amount of ink I need. So instead of dipping where I don't have as much control of how much ink goes on it, it also helps prevent having too much ink at the back of my nib. Are you writing slowly? I sure hope you are. Take deep breaths as you write. And the beauty of this all, is that you can write calligraphy anywhere. You could, as long as you have a little bit of a writing surface. You can also even consider using an iPad for this. We do have these ones in image formats as well, so you can easily import it into Procreate. Use an Apple Pencil, trace over it that way. It's a really fun way to meditate. I personally find myself, whenever I'm praying, that I'm always losing track of where I am, and I'm very distracted. So I find writing Bible verses just like this one is very enriching for the heart and very good time to spend with God. And immediately it's 10-15 minutes of my time that I would love to give to God, and sometimes praying for that long would definitely be a much more distracted prayer. And this one is a lot about just sitting in God's presence and just like breathing in these words, like listening. In many ways, it's just listening to God's word and like marinating yourself in them. I don't know if that's the right word for this particular moment of meditation, but you can consider yourself just soaking in God's word slowly, intentionally, smoothly as you go through the strokes. Of course, just write with intention. And that's one way you can really, really be able to focus as you write. And that's it. This is Isaiah 40 verse 31. As I mentioned, it's available in my shop in the Digital Worksheets corner. I will put it in the link below as well. I hope you guys enjoyed writing with me in this video, and I hope to see some of you guys practice with these sheets as well. If you do, please tag me on Instagram at Written Word Calligraphy, and I'll see you guys in another video.